Most people don't die from bad luck. They die from signals they don't understand to read. But here's what nobody talks about. 40 million people wiped off the face of this planet through preventable diseases. That's the entire population of Canada gone. Not from accidents, not from lightning strikes, not from any rare genetic mutations. These are conditions that were whispering all throughout before they screamed out loud. A 24-year-old fitness influencer collapses during a photo shoot. A 24-year-old doctor collapsed during a routine workout session. A 35-year-old software engineer went for a nap casually in the afternoon, did not wake up. Perfect health records. Everything looked normal from the last 6 months ago when he did his blood work. What happened? It's usually considered as a medical misfortune or a tragedy. Need not be, right? These are conditions that have been whispering for many, many years. And the common belief is that it happens to people who engage in high intensity workouts or exercises. Not necessarily. 38% of these deaths happen while people resting or sleeping or casually doing their everyday course. What if these sudden deaths are an end result of a slow motion disaster that has been building for so many years? Hi, I'm Abhishek, a medical doctor focused on longevity. I see brilliant, health conscious individuals die from what I call dumb ways to die. Don't take me wrong, it's not an harsh statement, it's a call for you all to be awake. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact framework through which 90% of misfortune incidents could be avoided. Now, why it's a dumb way to die? Because we know better, right? We are in 21st century, there are autonomous cars, there is AI, there are people who are doing organ transplants and then coming out in a very beautiful manner. These are happening. And you feel that things like diabetes or hypertension or any preventable death is inevitable? No, right? You're not looking at the right things in a right manner. Just that. Then comes all the passive choices that you get to make every day, which builds up in the background, which leads to these. Whenever you develop a symptom, you go and get it treated as a symptom and not the entire system which is crying for help. Don't get me wrong, modern medicine is brilliant at managing crises and emergencies. Nothing can come in close with it. I'm still in awe with the fact that we're able to save lives in that manner. But when it comes to managing the system, we can do a lot better. The healthcare system is deranged or flawed in such a manner that it doesn't account for these systems in a very holistic pattern. It looks at things in silos and we get to miss out on the larger pattern that is happening in the background. More importantly, we have normalized dysfunction. Feeling tired at your early 40s, having blood sugar levels going on the spiked end in your early 50s, family history of diabetes, that's it, right? No, need not be that. Need not be every time you run into a problem, you normalize it just because it is very common out there, just because you feel that there is no other scope to do with it. It need not be that. Now, what can you do about all of this? How do you prevent any of this from cropping into the direction that you don't want it to be? First, be aware. Be aware about the signs and symptoms that the body keep telling us before it makes into the ghostly manner that it comes out to be. What are these signs and symptoms in the first place? Fatigue. Fatigue could be anything. Fatigue could be anything from an iron deficiency anemia to cancer building up in the background. So don't underestimate fatigue at any cost. I'm not talking about that kind of fatigue when you have a very long day, you feel it at the end of the day. That's quite normal, right? Your body has got a capacity, a threshold. You breach it, you take a hit. That is quite normal. I'm talking about that you would feel after a good night's sleep when you still feel like you're moving rocks about simple day-to-day chores. That kind of feeling should not set in, and if you let it be that way and you manage it with coffee or energy drinks or whatnot, it is you covering up the entire situation in the basement or under the carpet and moving by the day with acknowledging the fact that something is happening but not caring about it because you have found a workaround. That need not happen. So fatigue is the number one thing that I would put on the top of the list. There are n number of reasons because of which somebody can experience fatigue. These preventable death can start as simple as feeling fatigue consistently. Then come feeling confused or dizzy from time to time. You get up from a chair, you're feeling dizzy. You're picking picking up something from the floor, you're feeling dizzy. You seem to be feeling really, really confused, can't stay focused inside the meeting room. Everything is fogged and you are very AC, right? And this keeps happening. This keeps happening despite you catching up with your sleep. This keeps happening despite that coffee that you had in the morning. Something that has to be looked after. Then comes shortness of breath. If you have been feeling the load on your chest after climbing a flight of stairs, means something. Need not be left unaddressed just because you have a lift that you are privileged to access. It's a workaround. Shortness of breath could be as simple as an allergic response to something that you are exposed to in your environment, or a tumor growing in the background, or an iron deficiency anemia, or an heart failure, or a liver dysfunction, or anything in between. If your body is giving out a sign like that, you go and address it right away. Then comes loss of appetite, loss of weight. If you have been constantly observing you to be having a really low appetite for a long time, that is also associated with loss of weight. You're losing like 10 kgs in the matter of a year's span, and you've not been putting any effort into it, and it's just happening. It means something, and you gotta go and have it addressed. There are so many other symptoms: intermittent diarrhea, constipation, increased reflux, dark circles that are really, really prominent, intermittent sleep disturbances, high BP once in a while that is recorded in a clinic room or a preventive health check. These are things that are to be looked at in a very serious manner. If you are ignoring these signs, apart from what I just listed out as the top 5, you are missing out on those signs that your body is trying to tell you, more like crying for help, but ignored. Now that you are aware, what do you do about it? By now you know why am I telling this as a dumb way to die, because you are giving in for something that is totally preventable. Why is it, right? Because we know better. Now when it comes to testing, where do you start? You start at basic labs. You establish a baseline with them. If need be, if there is an indication, if there are risk factors, these are tests anywhere between complete blood count to vital organ function screening to comprehensive hormone analysis to a 2D echo to chest x-ray to ECG. Now what do you test for? If you are in your 30s to 40s, you get your complete blood count analyzed. You see how your urine is looking under microscope with a complete urine examination. You screen for your liver function, kidney function, and also your metabolic flexibility. Now how do you measure your metabolic flexibility? By doing these simple tests: 1, fasting lipid profile; 2, fasting blood glucose. If these values are kept under optimal range, then you can say in a safe manner that your metabolic function is in good place. I will state optimal ranges for these 3 alone, right? HbA1c should be kept less than 5.5%. Fasting insulin should be kept between 2.5 and 5, and fasting blood glucose should be kept less than 90. These are blood and urine tests, right? What else? You should definitely get a ECG done, 2D echo done, chest x-ray done, ultrasound abdomen done, and set a baseline for what your health is looking like inside. This is not you chasing what is not there. This is you making smart choices in order to prevent what can pop in the future if not addressed. For all women who's above 40, there are 2 tests to be done in a mandatory basis. 1, pap smear screening for cervical cancer; 2, mammogram screening for breast cancer. If you have any family history or other indication, you need not wait till your 40s. Now that you know what you should be aware about, what you should be screening for, what do you do with your health in order to prevent from all of these? 1 in 2 heart attack occurs in individual who have got normal cholesterol level. Out of 10 Indians, 2 are suffering from some form of diabetes, and 1 in every second individual out there around the world suffers from some or the other chronic disease which they don't know yet. All of this, and in any good conscience, can I talk about longevity? Not yet. 80% of the premature deaths that are associated with cardiovascular disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes can be easily prevented if one was aware about all the symptoms that we discussed about and all the tests were done at the right time. Cancer caught in stage 1 is any day better than cancer caught in stage 4. So much time, so much effort could be saved if it was caught in a very early time, and there are so many early detection tests that are available which would screen for somebody's blood for the presence of cancer related proteins. And you know what? All of these share a common body as a denominator: metabolic dysfunction. You feed your body continuously over a period of time with the wrong kind of fuel, and you'll end up with something called as metabolic dysfunction. And it takes its own shape in different individuals depending upon their genetic predisposition. For some, it would come out as an heart disease, for some, it would come out as a type 2 diabetes, for some, it would be hypertension with a clicking time bomb. But it does come out. And metabolic dysfunction being a common denominator, remember those tests that I mentioned for, makes it even more important for us to screen through them. Finally, where are we getting with all of this? All of this just to make sure that you stop treating only what is visible, so that you can catch hold of diseases before it turns out to be a nightmare. All these diseases don't come into life overnight, as you already understand. Remember, the most dangerous diseases out there are those that you don't see coming. With awareness, preventative screenings, early detection, and consistent lifestyle changes, most of these dumb ways to die are easily preventable. And that is the only way out of these. A statin won't fix a bad lifestyle. An Ozempic, maybe it would get you to lose a couple of pounds, maybe you would look better, but is it fixing all the systems underneath? No. There is no single longevity pill that is going to erase all the extensive damage that has been done over several years. You gotta do everything that has to be done in the right manner that we just spoke about, and be consistent with it, and that is the only way out. Hi, this is Dr. Abhishek. You can live optimal at every age. For more such informational videos, please subscribe to PMX Health.